All right, hello, good morning, good evening, and good night. I hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic because today we got a lot to talk about because I have made a recent purchase within my investing account on my CIBC margin account. And what I want to talk about is why I decided to buy SQY. SQY is the Yieldmax Square Option Income Strategy ETF. It boasts 102% dividend yield. And before you click off this video, because you're like, maybe I'm not too interested in SQY, I want to go over exactly why I bought it. I believe there's an opportunity here. I want to go over the price point. I want to tell you guys why I bought SQY, and it's because I've held SQY in the past. In my CIBC account, I continue to hold it. I have 39 shares, and I want to tell you about how it's performed for me. And don't just take my word for it. Take Yieldmax's word. They have a total return chart, which I want to show you exactly how SQY has performed over the past, and I still believe based on the underlying stock, it has a lot more room to grow. It's one of the few Yieldmax ETFs which is not sitting at all-time highs in the underlying stock, and so that's why I bought it. But there is still so much to talk about, and if you guys can't tell, I'm very excited to kind of reveal my position, exactly why I bought it, where I plan to buy it, and how I expect to buy more. Okay, enough about that. What I want to talk about today is our subscriber count. We're up to 6,186 subscribers, 319 subscribers in the past 28 days. And I want to give a little shout out to Nicholas Kingsington 449. And the reason I want to say this is because he's like, thanks for the video and the info. Of course, anytime, man. And Nicholas, you're commenting all the time. I appreciate your comments. He said, since YMAX is only above your average, why don't you buy on the ex-dividend date as it's going to fall below your average? Looking forward to your next video. Absolutely. Giving likes all around. Nicholas, you're absolutely right. And you know what? I didn't buy YMAX, but instead I did this with SQY. So I really appreciate the tip. I think that's a fantastic tip, and I came through and I followed through. And so what I did was I was looking to buy SQY, but what did I do? I didn't necessarily buy it when it was at this peak here of about $21.63. Instead, I waited for the price to fall and bought then. So let's see exactly what my average price is. So here in my margin account, you can see I have SQY. We have 50 shares right here at an average price of $19.72. You can see we're actually up about $18.50 on a $1,000 position. So cool. Let's dissect exactly how we did this. Basically, what happened was a couple days ago, I was looking for the best time to buy SQY, and I didn't really want to buy before the dividend got paid out because I'd have to pay tax on that dividend. So what I did was I waited. Boom, they paid it out, and then I was waiting to see whether I should buy it yesterday or today or tomorrow. So what I did was I looked at Block's chart history. I kind of looked at, wow, they're approaching a new time high, and it looks like they have a lot of momentum going into this resistance point. As you can see here, it's not a resistance point that's happened over the past years. It's a resistance point that's been there since about 2022. So you can see here, $92 roughly, $92 roughly. This is a huge resistance point for Square. And I like Square's underlying. I looked at the financials of Square. Every quarter, they're growing their revenue. They're producing more and more free cash flow, which is very important. That's the cash flow at the end. So as a business, they're doing very well. And I like their business model. At the same time, I love their stock chart. I believe they have so much room to grow. They could push on here to about $150. If they break through to that, they're looking at about $200, which is a 200% return in the underlying and hopefully a good return in the Yieldmax ETF. So a combination of buying after the ex-dividend date, seeing their fantastic potential. Of course, this is not guaranteed, but its potential as a stock price chart. I was like, okay, I decided to buy in, and fortunately enough, the price went up from there. You can see my average being $19.72 and the current price being about $20.15. So what was the reasoning for buying Square? Well, why did I not just buy more YMAX? As you guys know, I hold a lot of YMAX in my Yieldmax portfolio. My Yieldmax, Yieldmax, which is YMAX is the main kind of one for me. So we're holding about $12,000 in my margin account, right? If you look at my cash, I hold about 7,700 Canadian in my margin account. My buying power, it says about 10,000. It's probably a little bit more. All converted into USD because I took out those shares of DLR.U.TO. But basically, I wanted to buy some kind of Yieldmax ETF or some kind of high yielding ETF because I haven't bought in a little while. And my monthly income, I consistently want to buy and grow it every single month. If I have cash, I want to use it. And I was not going to buy YMAX. And the reason being is because there are so many underlying companies within YMAX. For example, Coin. Coin is the underlying stock for Coney. And same thing with MSTR, the underlying stock for MSTY. If you look, they're pretty much at all-time highs. MSTR actually got beaten down over the past day, dropped about $100. But you can see here that a lot of these underlying companies for Yieldmax ETFs are at all-time highs, currently at or very close to all-time recent highs too. And so is Bitcoin. So I didn't really want to buy YMAX because it feels like I'm buying everything at an all-time high. Sure, you're going to have to buy at all-time highs because the market is going to trend up over time. But I bought SQY because I seen the opportunity in the underlying. If you look at their stock price chart, they're nowhere close to their all-time highs. They have a great business which continues to grow, continues to produce even more cash flow when they were at this marker, trading at about $270, which is 300% more than their current marker, literally 300% more. And I like the underlying business. I like where the Yieldmax ETF is positioned, and I see something similar. Maybe, okay, this is going a little bit too bullish, but I could see something similar to MicroStrategies happening here, where they have a kind of short little time frame where they have a great run up and potentially produce big dividend yields. So why did I only buy $1,000? It's because I don't know where the share price is going to go from here. I figured $1,000 would be a great starting investment. Let's say SQY and Square was to actually fall, because once again, we are approaching this resistance point. We are approaching it very strong, as you can see by these huge candles coming up here and rebounding, but we don't know where it's going to go. Let's say Square was to fall back down to about $70. Likely, I'm going to buy even heavier. Maybe I might buy $2,000 or $3,000 worth of Square more in order to compensate for that. So the opportunities and options are endless when we're looking at potentially investing into Square, just because of their stock price chart history and the potential that, okay, they could have a run up and I could potentially buy more at a better price. I just wanted to get in, and that's why I did $1,000 worth. And the reason why I chose Square is because Square is one that's proven. I have 39 shares. I have an average share price. It says 28.06 in Canadian. When we transfer that to USD, we're looking at $20.10. So on a position that I bought and started receiving dividends back in April of 2024, I'm actually currently up on that position because Square stock price is sitting at $20.25. I'm up 15 cents. And you can see for their cumulative return, they sit fourth on the best Yieldmax ETFs for a 45% return since it looks like October 2023. So Square is one that has consistently paid me fantastic dividends over the past year or so, and it's been positive for me in terms of capital appreciation. You can see here it says down 0.03, but it has been a fantastic investment. It has produced me a lot of income, and that's what I'm going for in my portfolio. I'm potentially looking to earn a little bit of capital appreciation and some high dividends. And with this margin account, likely what I'll do is, if I see great opportunities like Square and they present an even better price point, I'll be looking to buy on margin. So that is kind of my strategy for the current time being, why I decided to buy Square, and exactly what I'm thinking around kind of YMAX currently with all these other underlying stocks at all-time highs. I needed to find one that was a great value, and I decided to choose Square, SQY. So if you guys enjoyed this video and want to see more videos like this, we're up to 6,186 subscribers. I hope to bring you guys more videos where I see opportunities and share my buying opportunities with you so that we can all kind of invest and earn our money together. So if that sounds good, please do stick around to the next video, and I hope to see you guys then. Please do take care.